Hello, I'm Adam York.
And I'm Brad Hobrock with AgriBio Systems.
Our number one goal is increasing your farm profit by building soil health. We do this by focusing immensely on education, understanding, and success. We have many responsibilities in assisting you, but the most critical is to help you become better educated and have a better understanding in order to make more informed decisions that will consistently increase your success and in turn your profits. Soil health is the key to attaining consistent increased yields and success. There are many facets to soil health, but the most critical is soil biology. Soil biology is the foundation to a healthy, productive soil and also the first pillar to an efficient agronomy system.
There are three components to soil: chemical, physical, and biological. The chemical portion involves the mineral and the elemental part. The physical component is the soil structure, and the biology component is the complete living part of the soil. For many years, we've tried to control these components with synthetic fertilizers and tillage, and yet completely ignored the importance of biology, which is the most essential component because biology controls all three. All plants need balanced chemistry, proper aggregate structure, and a balanced soil biology to produce not only high yields, but nutrient-dense products. This is how soil can be self-sufficient, where soil works for you instead of you working for your soil.
It is crucial that all trophic levels of the soil food web are present to have a healthy, functional, and productive soil. From mineralizing nutrients efficiently, to breaking down plant residues, to increasing organic matter and humus, to even controlling pathogens, soil needs a certain population of beneficial microbes. The first trophic level consists of organic material from dead plants and animals. The second trophic level contains beneficial bacteria and fungi, which are the main decomposers and, if given the opportunity, form an exceptional symbiotic relationship with plants very early in the plant's life cycle. The third trophic level includes the predators. These are the beneficial protozoa, nematodes, shredders, arthropods, earthworms, etc. All of these microorganisms must be present in your soil for it to be truly functional.
For years, you've been told the most important nutrients for plant growth are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. This is simply not true. The most important nutrients are actually carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. As plants grow, their carbon to nitrogen ratio changes. As a young seedling, the carbon to nitrogen ratio may be as little as 10 to 1. But as the plant continues to go through vegetative growth stages, this ratio increases to 20 to 1, 30 to 1, and 40 to 1. As plants enter the reproductive stages and begin to mature, this ratio continues to increase to 50 carbons to 1 nitrogen, 70 to 1 and higher. Essentially, plants continue to accumulate carbon in much higher numbers than nitrogen. Dead or senesced plants can reach carbon to nitrogen ratios as high as 400 to 1. Carbon is the element responsible for pushing plant growth. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are extremely important as well, but they are not the main drivers behind pushing plant biomass and final yield.
At maturity, carbon will make up 45% of total plant biomass. Oxygen makes up another 45%, and hydrogen 5 to 6%. Nitrogen will make up less than 2%. So, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen make up more than 95% of total plant biomass. That leaves all the other elements: phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, calcium, zinc, boron, and all other trace elements to make up the remaining 4 to 5%. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is the main component in building plant structure. CO2 is produced by soil microbiology.
The most important component of the soil rhizosphere is carbon dioxide, the final decomposition product of organic matter. The intensity of the biochemical process taking place in the soil can be judged by the amount of carbon dioxide released. The formation of CO2 largely depends on microbial metabolism. Everything that favors growth of microbes increases the generation of CO2.
Soil that has the optimal balance of soil biology is essential to your success. You can't have proper soil pH or nutrient transfer in the rhizosphere without the correct soil biology present and functional. Healthy plant growth requires a balanced number of bacteria and fungi per the plant or species being grown. Weeds prefer a bacterial dominant soil with a bacteria to fungi ratio of 10 to 1. grasses 3 bacteria to 1 fungi, vegetables 1 bacteria to 3/4 fungi, and our row crops such as corn and soybeans need a ratio of 1 bacteria to 1 fungi. Woody plants and vines need 1 bacteria to 5 to 10 fungi. Hardwood trees prefer soils with 200 fungi to 1 bacteria. Conifer trees are extremely fungal dominant at 500 fungi to 1 bacteria. Cedars can be as high as 1,000 fungi to 1 bacteria.
The weed species that you fight directly correlate to your soil biology as well. Without proper biology and a truly functional plant, soil microbe system, your plants won't have the balanced nutrition, will not have proper pH, will not have protection against pathogens, diseases, and insects, and will not meet their yield and quality potential. The genetic potential of a corn crop is 1,100 bushel to the acre. However, that's in a perfect environment where everything can be controlled. Realistic yield potential is way above the 200, 250 that we consider success.
We have the ability to perform both qualitative and quantitative microbial analysis of soil. In other words, we need a count of microbes in the soil and need to determine whether they are beneficial or harmful. The proper balance for row crops is 1 bacteria to 1 fungi. Most corn belt soils today are very bacterial dominant, with some ratios as high as 1,000 bacteria to 1 fungi, and in some cases no beneficial fungi can be found. Many current farming practices are the reason that beneficial fungi are one of the largest missing components to our soils, leading to poor plant and soil health. These beneficial fungi are responsible for assisting with mineralization, secreting the soil glue glomalin to build stable macroaggregates and increase both soil organic matter and humus. Without beneficial fungi, organic matter and humus will never be increased in soils, regardless of what practices you employ. We re-inoculate soil with the proper soil biology in products such as Biomax and Mycoplex to bring diversity of soil microbes back to soils to rebuild a functional plant soil microbe system. A healthy functional soil will suppress diseases and disease-causing pathogens, retain nutrients in the soil, provide plants with all essential nutrients, reduce your need for fertilizers, decompose toxins, increase carbon storage capabilities, and build stable aggregate structures, which will reduce water needs, increase water infiltration and water holding capacity, and increase rooting depth and oxygen levels in soil.
The carbon to nitrogen ratio of soil microbes is the key for nutrient cycling in the soil. In nature, all the trophic levels of the soil food web function together to allow the plant, soil microbe system to work efficiently. Bacteria have a carbon to nitrogen ratio of 5 to 1. Fungi are 20 to 1. Protozoa are 30 carbons to 1 nitrogen. Nematodes 100 to 1. And arthropods, earthworms, and shredders 150 carbons to 1 nitrogen. This is the means in which nutrient cycling is done and how plant available nutrients are created. While we focus a lot on carbon to nitrogen ratio of all soil biology, nutrient cycling also involves carbon to phosphorus, carbon to potassium, carbon to calcium, carbon to sulfur, carbon to magnesium, and carbon to micronutrients and trace elements.
When a predator, such as protozoa, has a carbon to nitrogen ratio of 30 to 1 and primarily feeds on bacteria, which is 5 carbons to 1 nitrogen, these microbes have to maintain their carbon to nitrogen or carbon to other mineral ratio. So, if a protozoa eats 6 bacteria to accumulate his 30 carbons, his nitrogen content increases to 6. He can't use all 6 nitrogens, so he will excrete 5 nitrogen back to the soil as ammonium. So as protozoa eat bacteria, all essential elements are released as free plant-available nutrients. Nematodes primarily feed on fungi. These nematodes have a carbon to nitrogen ratio of 100 to 1, whereas fungi are 20 to 1. So they eat 5 fungi and then release 4 nitrogen back to the soil as ammonium. These relationships exist in the soil all throughout the trophic levels. It's similar to oceans, where big fish eat little fish. Soils are really no different, other than the nutrients being released as plant-available nutrients. When you learn to reproduce your fertility instead of buying it, your profit potential increases exponentially.
For many years, you've accepted it as normal to purchase all your fertilizer and nutrition for crop needs. In a functional system, all those nutrients can be made plant available through soil biology via predator and prey interaction. This is exactly why old growth forests can live to be 100, 200, even up to 500 years old and still thrive, with no fertilizer ever applied. It's also why some producers have consistently produced 300 bushel corn with zero applied nitrogen. Plants with proper balanced nutrition have genetic potential to produce yields far beyond today's conventional programs and fertilizers.
Conventional practices and management will always lead to conventional results. What this means is with conventional farming, your success and profit, or lack thereof, will always be dependent on two things. One, was Mother Nature kind enough to you this growing season to produce a good crop? And two, are commodity prices high enough to make your farm profitable? A properly designed system using a very high quality compost, compost extract, or tea with the correct microbial food sources and amendments can do incredible things for your soil and profitability. It is a critical step in reviving soil and bringing back those properties we've lost through conventional farming systems.